Now, all you need to validate if the Gnostic Gospels are correct is to look into the possibility if there are really human-born hermaphrodites. Dumbass, right? That's the point, right? If there are medical hermaphrodites, right, and they're XX and XY, right? Clearly, we both came from that form, right? Because we're XY or XX. Durr. Now, only God is capable of dividing a true hermaphrodite into male or female. We don't even know that process anymore, but it's associated in the Greek with the word morph or metamorph, right? When the two appeared with him, who were also conversing with him, who are also independent of him, but still him as well, right? Just in three forms, right? Now, Satan's form is still male and female too, right? But he's rebelling with the male from his wife. Maybe he wanted to do Jesus up the butt too, you get what I mean? But Jesus said no. But then he tried to set up something with Jesus and his wife, and maybe got Jesus and her drunk together, right? This is just a hypothesis, right? Which is not harmful if we're trying to figure out what all happened, right? No, it's not. Moses never said you can't figure out what he's saying, and from what he wrote, explain it further, right? That's all I'm doing, idiot. And he left out details anyway. I know he did. Whether it was on purpose or not, right? Because it is a short story version of what happened in Eden anyway. Certain details are left out intentionally by whoever told somebody up to the point Moses wrote it down. Now it's alleged, though, that that's what Israel taught. I don't know. Happened with their creation story, right? Now, in Star Trek, they called the story a myth. Well, the thing is, okay, if they're real true hermaphrodites, maybe it's not a myth, right? And that makes the Gnostics right, not the Orthodox dumbass, right? And just because more of you are wrong than right, don't mean God ain't trying to save you still by grace through faith, not of works alone, least any man should boast, right? Now, if you're telling someone the truth, though, that's all you can do, right? I can't condemn you for not understanding things as I do if you won't even look into it, right? But what can we do about it? If it is the truth and you're lying with Constantine, who did not even meet Jesus, who had nothing to do with Jesus, the only reason he became a Christian is he thought he could conquer by the sign of the cross, right? Which was his dream anyway, or vision, whatever, hallucination, whatever, right? This sign conquer, right? Well. But maybe he didn't conquer all he was supposed to conquer, right? Now, if the woman is Jesus' wife, right? Why would Constantine question that in her? Because if the woman is Jesus' wife, she was caught openly having sex with another man. Now, Jesus used the loophole to get his wife or the wife out of it, right? So the thing is, though, whether she's his wife or not, the whole premise there is adultery requires you to be stoned, right? And they were trying to get Jesus to take up the first stone against his wife, as the law of Moses says The husband is the one, if his wife goes a whoring, to stone her first with her lover. Right? The problem is they did not bring the lover too. And the New Testament is written with the understanding that it's also based on the Old, right? Yet the thing is, you're teaching sexuality from a first century Jewish point of view, which still has superstitions in it, right? Why do superstitions not help anyone? Because they're the wrong idea about it, right? Now, whoever is around Eve, right? Adam, the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? Which could mean they're human beings, right? Because human beings envy one another, right? As the trees in Eden envied Satan. So the other angels, what I'm talking about, envied Satan for causing his own death and the death of Adam and Eve, right? Now, even though Jesus was slain before the foundation of the world, right? Right. When was that? Yet, when Lazarus again himself died, and Jesus was not aware of it until they told him, right? Then he found out, right, that Lazarus was dead, right? He also said he sleeps. So when the Lord is resting on the Sabbath day, he's sleeping anyway, right? And in the middle of the trees of the garden. It would be like your Rip Van Winkle taking, say, 1,000-year nap. Except your body is there, right? But you're resting. You're asleep already, right? Well, if cavemen used stone tools back then, before we got to the Bronze Age, and then right, which bronze is made by copper and tin, right? Right. So we got the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, I don't know, the Silver and Gold Age, I guess, and then the Iron Age, which came about through Rome. Now, one of the writers of the Bible mentions iron, right? Which, when David fought Goliath, wasn't even part of their measuring system, right? He should have used silver or, right. Now, the thing is, though, if iron weighs more than silver, it would take less iron shekels, right, or more to equal the same weight as silver shekels, say, right? Because they're made out of two different metals that are mined two different ways, right? If you're thinking about how that's done, right? So the problem is, all a person can do if they find something out you're ignoring or not wanting to even know, right, is try to explain it to you anyway. But what makes you of God is, do you realize that too, right? I still gotta explain it to someone, even if it's me myself or someone in the future who might can understand it like I do, right? Like Jesus did, right? Who bore the glory of the Lord, right? According to Zechariah as well. Joshua, which is another way to say Jesus, shall bear the glory of the Lord, right? And the knowledge of it, which is what I'm doing. I'm a man, like every other man, but I know the glory of the Lord has to do with the femininity of the man, which is the woman, right? The woman was taken out of the man, right? And they became from one to two, right? That's hermaphroditism with morphine abilities, right? Which Jesus metamorphed, right? And after the cross, he morphed, right? They didn't recognize him. Well, why? What they did to his body, right? Did they try to burn it or something, right? Come on. Now, if you're going to take down a garrison of soldiers, though, right? They must have been really sleepy, right? And yet they let them use that as an excuse, all right, to say the disciples stole the body, but they could have stole the body, right? They didn't really deny they did. They didn't. But what they do with it, the only thing they could do with it is the reason they stole the body is his female breast, if he wore a girdle underneath his garment, would be exposed to the world when he was on the cross, right? In fact, it would be the only place you could see it in Israel, even the night of Passover, right? You don't go around naked or nude in Israel. Israel don't even have a nude beach situation, though other countries do. France, Greece, Italy, right? The port of Palma, right? Probably also the port of Rhoda, which is on the other side, right? Or the Atlantic side of the oceans, right? Or seas, right? So again, the problem is, why do you think you're denying it? I know. Simply because I'm the one chosen to tell you, okay? And then you want to call me fake. Well, why? I'm here telling you every day, right? What it has to do with, right? And you can't prove it's not possible, right? I'm proving it is more than possible. The hermaphrodite Adam was a hermaphrodite, right? Not male. But because Peter or certain Jewish sages made Adam fully a male, right? The story is confusing when the woman was taken out of the man, right? But you see it fully with the true hermaphrodite, right? They're XXXY. Now, technically, though, DNA-wise, right, the male can reproduce on the hermaphrodite, and the female, if she has a womb, right? Now, being double-minded, though, would also be a problem with hermaphrodite, especially in a male or female world. Though God also says in Deuteronomy 4:15 and 16, not to worship graven images in the likeness of male or female. Meaning, don't make a male or female idol to represent my image because I'm a spirit. Neither male nor female, Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free. As Christ was declared by Paul that we are all one in him and baptized into his one body, whether Jew or Gentile, bond or free, male or female. And Gnosticism is in the writings of Paul, right? Though Christ is the true man of God, right? Because he's both, right? Not one or the other, right? See, what you're imagining is God made the male first, and then DNA-wise made the female from him, right? and formed her body that way? Well, 50-50, that could be somewhat true. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the female and male are still, what's the word, codependent on each other, right? Not without each other in the Lord, right? You need each other to reproduce, which is the point of becoming two, whether you're a hermaphrodite or male only, right? But if Christ has female breasts, and John is the only disciple in front of the cross, he's also the only disciple who can say something about it before he dies on Patmos, right? As of his last testament before he dies, right? Which Peter may be the problem there, right? Because he told him first, and he overreacted and burnt the body of Christ, right? Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, nothing. Remember the sacrifice of Samson's parents, right? They were doing a burnt offering, right? Well, there you again burn the carcass of the animal till there was nothing left at all. If you do that to the body, well, you're ascending the ashes and the body up into heaven, right? But then when they saw him, that would explain why they didn't recognize him too, right? They thought they got rid of him. fully. So they're a little hesitant to see it's him, right? How can that be him? We burnt his body alive, right? I mean, after the cross, right? Because Satan is tricking you into thinking God's image is male and female, right? Without acknowledging all three forms, right? See, you're also tripling the male without tripling the female, right? Well, God can't be Father, Son, and Holy Ghost and Mother, Daughter, and Holy Ghost, right? See, all you're doing there, right? DNA wise, right? Is saying the male preceded the female in creation, and because he was first and she was last, right? Again, he still made the male first and the female last in a form, right? Even from the hermaphrodite form. See, if you're a hermaphrodite and you have both reproductive organs in your lower extremities, you would have to close up the flesh underneath, as the Hebrew scriptures directly interpreted into English suggest, right? God did with Adam, right? To make him fully male and remove the female parts. And if she had an extra rib, right? The extra rib too, right? Another thing that's possible is Christ could have 13 ribs, right? And we only have 12, both the male and the female, right? Whoa. I also heard that some people can have extra floating ribs, period, right? Some might have 13, some might have 12, right? That's still a sign of the angelic interference with the sexuality of human beings, right? But that's why all Jesus can do is forgive you your trespass, right? Because if he condemns you, he condemns himself, right? Right. That's why he forgave you on the cross, right? Get it? And there you go. Have a good morning.